Welcome to Clear Mind Logic. Today we're not going to talk about productivity hacks or morning routines. We're going to talk about something much more honest, why your brain refuses to work until it absolutely has to. And more importantly, what that tells you about how your mind actually operates. Most people think procrastination is a laziness problem. It's not. Science tells us something very different. Your brain has two systems constantly fighting each other. The limbic system, the emotional pleasure-seeking part, wants comfort right now. It wants dopamine. It wants the easy thing. The prefrontal cortex, your logical planning brain, knows what needs to get done. When a deadline is far away, the limbic system wins every time. Scrolling Instagram feels better than starting a report. Watching one more episode feels better than sending that email, so your brain doesn't procrastinate because you're weak. It procrastinates because avoiding discomfort feels like a reward. Every time you delay a task, your brain gets a small dopamine hit from the relief of not doing it. And just like that, the habit is reinforced. Now here's where it gets interesting. When a deadline arrives, something shifts inside your body. Your brain triggers the release of adrenaline and cortisol, your stress hormones, and suddenly your focus sharpens. Distractions disappear, you stop overthinking, you just do. This is called the Yerkes-Dodson law, a real psychological principle that says moderate stress boosts performance. It pushes you out of comfort and into action. That last-minute energy you feel at 11 p.m. before a deadline? That's not panic. That's your brain's manufactured urgency finally kicking in. The deadline didn't make you smarter. It just gave your brain the chemical signal it was waiting for. Think about it this way. A task with no deadline is like a road with no destination. You'll keep driving, but you won't go anywhere. The moment a deadline appears, the road gets an endpoint, and your brain finally decides to take it seriously. Now, before you think, okay, so I'll just always work at the last minute, here's what the research also shows. People who consistently rely on deadline pressure end up with 28% higher cortisol levels over time compared to those who don't. And chronic cortisol doesn't just stress you out, it impairs your memory, it weakens your focus, it affects your health. So the short-term burst of productivity? You're borrowing it from your future self. There's also a deeper problem. While you were waiting, the task was never really off your mind. It was sitting in the background, draining your mental energy, making it hard to enjoy the things you were doing instead. That's the real cost of procrastination. Not just the last-minute rush, but the mental weight you carry from day 1 to day 3. So if your brain needs urgency to function, give it urgency. Don't fight your biology, use it. Here are 3 practical ways to do that. 1. Create a fake deadline. Set your own deadline 24 to 48 hours before the real one. Tell someone about it. A colleague, a friend. The moment it becomes public, your brain treats it as real. Accountability activates the same urgency response. 2. Use the 2-minute start rule. Don't commit to finishing the task. Just commit to starting it for 2 minutes. Once you start, dopamine rises with progress, and momentum takes over naturally. The hardest part is always the first 2 minutes. 3. Break it into checkpoints. A 3-day task with no milestones is invisible to your brain. Break it into daily checkpoints. Now you have 3 small deadlines instead of 1 big one. Each checkpoint gives your brain the urgency signal it needs without the last-minute chaos. Here's the clarity I want you to take from this. You are not lazy. Your brain is just designed to respond to urgency, not to intention. And once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself, and you start engineering the conditions your brain needs to perform. Don't wait for the deadline to create pressure. Learn to create it yourself. That's not a productivity trick. That's clarity. If this made something click for you, share it with someone who's been putting something off. And if you want more practical insights like this, subscribe to Clear Mind Logic. Because here we don't do generic motivation,